Hi, I'm Danny, and this is In Your Pocket, a brand new channel dedicated to helping people get the most out of the tech that you already have. As a brand new channel, we really rely on you guys to like, subscribe, and leave comments. Tell me what future episodes that you'd like me to do. Ask me questions about the episode, or just have a general chat. The more that you can do, the more you're going to help the channel. Hi, I'm Danny, and this is In Your Pocket, a brand new channel dedicated to helping people get the most out of the tech that you already have. As a brand new channel, we really rely on you guys to like, subscribe, and leave comments. Tell me what future episodes that you'd like me to do. Ask me questions about the episode, or just have a general chat. The more that you can do, the more you're going to help the channel. So welcome back to part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 of our dive into the calendar app, then I suggest that you go and have a look at that first. But today we're going to move on from the basics. We're going to have a look at using some of the more useful aspects of a calendar, maybe some of the more hidden things that you hopefully don't know about. So we're going to start off, and we touched upon this in part 1, but we're going to look at setting up new types of calendars and even a shared calendar. Maybe you want a separate calendar for, let's say, possible events, things that you might do, but you don't want to actually put in your calendar, and you maybe just want it there as a placeholder. So let's set up a calendar called Possible Events. Okay, so we're going to open up the calendar app, and in the bottom right you will see an icon that looks like a calendar. And we're going to click on that, and from this point here we can scroll to the bottom, and you'll see at the bottom there is something called Add Calendar. Okay, so we're going to click on that, and it's going to ask add a holiday calendar or add a subscription calendar. You can add holiday calendars by clicking on that, and then it'll take you to a page there where you can add in holidays from any country in the world, basically. So I've already got that set up on mine. You can see the UK holidays is already set up, so that comes in as a separate calendar. So let's go back to click a calendar. We will have a look at subscription calendars in a minute, but first of all we're going to add a family calendar. It may be for things such as family holidays, or working late at work, or nights out together. Once you set up, anybody can add to it, so the people that are as part of that calendar. And then the really great thing is that you get a notification pop up on your screen on your phone when somebody's added in a calendar. Okay, so we're going to we've clicked add calendar, and here you can add a person or a family member. So I'm going to go into my family there. You can see that there are various people there, and I am going to leave Sarah in there, and I'll click on plus there, so you can see straight away that calendar is shared with somebody. We can call it something else now, so let's call it a shared calendar. Yeah, okay, and that's it. It's as simple as that. We can give it a colour at the bottom. Colours are always really useful because they allow you to differentiate between different calendars easily. So let's give it a yellow colour there, and we've set that up, and there we go. We can click on that, and there it is. It's a shared calendar that's set up with Sarah. Okay, so that's a shared one. How do we just add a normal calendar? So let us set up a calendar just for ourselves. So add calendar. Let's call this possible events. And again, we're going to give it a color. Let's give it a brown color, and there we go. That's that done. We can now see that on our list of calendars there, we've got several calendars. We've added in the possible events and we've added in a shared calendar. So when we go to create a calendar event, we can add it to one of those. So for instance, I am thinking next week of let's say that I'm thinking next week of having a day out in Sheffield, let's say. So I can click on that. I'm not sure that I'm going to do that yet, so let's just put on day in Sheffield. Let's say that it's not an all-day event, but it's let's say 10 until 5. There we go. And then I don't want to put it in my main calendar because I'm not definitely going to be going. So I can click on the calendar there, and there you go. You can see that I've got a list of all my different calendars that I've got, and I'm going to put it in my potential calendar. Click on that, and you can see now that in my calendar we've got this purple event there, a day in Sheffield. And if I want to make that a proper event whereby I've thought about it and yes, I'm going to do it, I can click on it, I can go into edit, and I can change it into my main calendar from there. Okay, let's have a look at adding a subscription calendar. These can be really useful. Many people use these for sports fixtures and that kind of thing. And to find those, there are probably lots of different ways to do it, but I would normally just do a web search. So let me click on Outlook there, and let me say, and I'm going to click for the San Francisco Giants. San Francisco Giants, and at the end of it I'm going to put on ICS, which is short for internet calendars. These are the sorts of calendars that we can add, and you'll see there when we do a Google search at the top there we've got subscribe to San Francisco Giants iCal calendar. Let's click on that. Yeah, and you'll see that we open this page up. We can download it and put it into Excel if we want, but if we actually want it to subscribe to it, and it will get updates as well. So if a fixture changes, it will automatically change that. That's one of the great things of subscribing to calendars. I can click on subscribe. I'm then presented with a page here, and I want to add it to Apple calendars. I can click on Apple calendars, and add to calendar. Yeah, click on find, and there you go. It's found it. It's given it a title, San Francisco Giants ML. I can change that if I want. Let's just call it San Francisco Giants, and you can see there it's currently on my iPhone. If I want that on iCloud so that I can get that from different devices, I can click on that, and then I can change the color of it. Well, the Giants play in orange, so let's put that in orange, and let's click OK, and there you go. You can see that that is now added to my calendars. You can add as many of these as you want. You can add all of your football teams, cricket teams, baseball teams, whatever, and they're a really useful addition. So yeah. Okay. So next thing, we've got lots of different calendars. Let's go back into the calendar app and let's click on it there, and you can see in that list there that there are quite a few different calendars there, and when I go into the view I might think, wow, that's so confusing. I don't really it feels a little bit cluttered, and I might just want to turn them off. So for instance, the San Francisco Giants, I'm not actually going to those games. Yorkshire and England cricket ones, I might want to switch those off. The possible events, I might want to switch those off as well. So how do we do that? Well, it's really simple. So we go back into the calendar app, click on the button in the bottom, the calendar button there. There's the list of calendars that I've got, and you'll see down the left hand side there that there are ticks that correspond to the colour of the calendar, and I can very easily just click on those and I can switch those off, and then when I shut that down, it switched those calendars off just for the moment. Yeah, I can go back there and I can say, okay, yeah, let me switch that one off, and then I want to switch these others back on, and you can play about with it as you want, and these calendars are then switched on and off as you see fit at whatever time. So the next one, setting the default calendar. We looked at this in the first episode on calendars, but we're just going to have another quick look at it now, just to refresh. So we've now got lots of different calendars in our calendar app. So let's look at setting the default calendar. So we go into settings, we scroll down to apps, we find the calendar, and we scroll down, and you will see close to the bottom there, default calendar, and that currently says DTS iCloud. That's my main one, but I might want that to be my shared calendar that I've got with Sarah. So I can click on that, come out of that, go back into the calendar, and now when I create an event by clicking on the plus button in the top right, let's scroll down, and you can see there under calendar it's listed the shared calendar. So that's the default calendar now, but again, at any time I can go in there and I can change that to any calendar that I want. So a feature that's really useful if you do a lot of traveling, especially overseas, and that's setting the calendar time zone. So for instance, let's say that you go into Australia and you have some tickets for a concert at 6 p.m. in Sydney. Rather than having to work out what does that time equate to in the UK, we can do it differently. So let's go and create an event, and let's say that that's the concert, and it's in, let's just say Sydney. Tell you what, let's say the Sydney Opera House. Let's splash out a little bit. Yeah, Sydney Opera House. And the time of that event, so let's put the date in first. So let's say that that's going to be next week on the 22nd, and it's going to be 6 p.m. in Sydney. And when we click on the time there, you'll see at the bottom there, underneath the wheel, time zone. It says London at the moment. If we click on that, click the little cross there to clear that, and let's type Sydney, and there we go, Sydney, Australia. There you go. It's it's actually set that up as 1800 GMT plus 10. So that is now in the Sydney time. When we click on that there, we can go into that date, and you can see that it's showing in the UK time that's 0900, but in Sydney time that's 1800. So when we're actually in Sydney and we open our calendar, we can see exactly when we are due at that event. That's always going to show you in local time. One thing that sometimes I can struggle with a little bit is forgetting to add things into a calendar. Let's say I get some tickets from an email. I've often forgotten to either add the event, or even worse, I've forgotten to add the tickets. I don't know where the tickets are for that event. So let's have a look at some things that we can do. So I'm going to open an email, and there's an email of an event that I have bought tickets for, and you'll see at the top there, or near the top, it says Siri has found an event, and it's got the details. It's got the ticket, and the film is called Ish. It knows the date, the 26th of July. It knows the time. It's read that from the email, and so very simply, I can click on the add button there. Now, what it hasn't read from that is the venue. But let me click that in? Well, it's one that I go to regularly, the Hyde Park Picture House, so let's click on that there. And I've put it in the shared calendar, but I'm going on my own, so let me put that in my own calendar. So there we go, we've added that in. Hey presto, we've got that in. Now, on this email, there is also the option to add to Apple Wallet, which comes with quite a lot of tickets these days, but it doesn't always. And so what we can do, and you can see at the bottom, there is a PDF of the ticket. There it is. I'm going to show you this trick, which I really like. So I need to squeeze down a little bit. So what you can do is, if you hold your finger on the ticket and move it a little bit, suddenly that ticket starts to float around. Now what we can do is we can, using our other finger, we can go into our calendar. It's on the 26th. There you can see is the event there, ticket-ish. We can click on that, click on edit. Now you'll notice all the time I've still got my other finger on the screen and there's that ticket moving around. I can click on edit, it brings up this, and you'll see there add attachment, and you'll see at the top of that attachment there's a little plus sign that's turned green. Yeah, so I can now simply let go, and that ticket is now in that calendar event. I can click on the tick there, and if that's a shared calendar, both people can see that. Yeah, if it's just a solo one, then only you. And it's brilliant because on the night of that event, when I get there, I can click on that. I don't have to go into edit. I can literally just click on the ticket, and hey presto, there is the ticket. I don't have to hide that ticket in any folders. I don't need to add it to Apple Wallet if I don't want. I can literally just add it into that calendar event. Now, this does only work, I think, with iCloud calendars. So if you're still using Google, it's one of the reasons I changed my calendar provider. I used to use Google Calendars, but it's one of the reasons I now always use iCloud Calendar, because of that function there. It is so useful. Okay, one last thing. So I think this is quite useful. Let's go back into a calendar event, and let me go back into that. And I just realized I told you that I was going on my own on that, but as you can see from the ticket, there are 2 tickets, so I'm clearly not going on my own. I'm actually going with Sarah, so I'm going to leave it in that calendar for the time being. But what I can do is I can actually add a note in there. So I can click on edit, and I can scroll down, and you'll see at the bottom there it says notes. I can click on that, and I can say I have both tickets. I can click on that, come out of that. I find this really useful. I go to see a lot of bands with friends, and we sort of take it in turns at buying tickets. If it's me that's buying the ticket, I try to put them in the calendar, but if I've not bought them, my friends bought them, I'll tend to put a little note in there saying that. But let's just have a look in that one there. So I can click on the ticket, I can scroll down. Oh, there you go. At the bottom there, I have both tickets. And that I find really useful in the calendar. Hopefully you've found some of those quite useful. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and spread the word. I'm Danny from In Yer Pocket. Take it easy, everyone.